Okay, you bent the out of shape about critical race theory. Well, the good news is you might not be a racist. You might just be ignorant of what the hell CRT is.
Well, please explain it to the racists and the niggas and the college students, because nobody seems to know what the hell it is. The devil's biggest trick was convincing the world he don't exist.
No, we're not quite sure.
No? Nah, same.
What you know about critical race theory?
Critical race theory?
Yeah.
Critical race theory, is that like a extreme racist or something?
Do you guys know what critical race theory is?
What's the term called?
Okay, I got the question. It's critical race theory. You know what critical race theory is?
Actually, I ain't researched it yet.
Professor, what is critical theory?
Good question. White folks started slavery and they used it in their colonies. Some people want you to believe it was abolished in the 1860s. But really, it went underground with selective prosecution on bogus scribes. Blacks are locked up to this day disproportionately, and that's not okay.
Run through your window!
Now, do you know what CRT is?
Do I know what CRT? No, I don't.
Critical race theory.
Okay.
You know what it is?
No.
I don't.
No, not exactly.
You know what CRT is?
No, I know what CRT is. No, what is it? Talk to me.
Critical race theory.
I do not. No, I don't.
So, you know what CRT is?
No, enlighten me.
I don't.
You know what CRT is? CRT.
No, I don't.
I think I have a decent idea about it, but honestly, I can't say I'm an expert on the subject.
Critical race theory.
Okay.
You ever heard about that?
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Critical race theory?
Ooh, that's new.
You don't know about that?
No, intrigue me.
It's about inclusion of everybody, you know what I'm saying? Trying to say black people is getting the short end of the stick, so in order for black people to get equality, white people must bow down so black people can come up. Do you think that's fair to black people or white people?
I mean, our president did just say if you don't vote for him, you're not black and stuff like that.
Joe Biden, the most racist of them all, dividing the country when he's supposed to be bringing the country together.
So it's pretty much is like is what you put.
You want a pedo show? You know Joe's a fucking pedophile.
Yeah,
you know,
so it's
Joe's
like
a pedophile. You know what I'm saying? You
so
mess with the pedo family right there.
Yeah, so it's pretty much in the. So it really tells a lot and stuff. So
I mean, they're talking about gays need to be included. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about reparations. You know, they're talking about a lot of black people are getting excluded from a lot of things. So they're saying critical race theory. They're trying to teach white people how to be more black. You think that's fair to white people? Like you gotta understand slavery and all this
that's
shit.
just funny in general because I mean, why would white want to actually be black? I mean, yeah, they copied our culture and like pretty much our music to the style, but yeah, at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, if it comes down to trouble, they're gonna be like, they're gonna play the white privilege and say like, oh no, I'm good.
So the first statement is the most important thing about you is your race.
Disagree.
Disagree, yeah.
Disagree.
Disagree as well.
I disagree.
There's more to a person than the race that is constructed by society. I mean, people can view themselves differently. It doesn't have to be. Just don't agree with that.
Ooh. No, not the most important thing that people look at, but ooh.
I disagree. I disagree.
Yeah, I disagree because that shouldn't be of any importance.
No, I disagree. People should be hired based on their skills because at the end of the day, the job that you do has nothing to do with the race that you're categorized in.
I just feel like there's a lot to everybody, and race is a very important thing, but it's not the only important thing.
I think there's so much more stuff that's more important, like your personality and how you are to other people.
All right, kids. I'm here to teach you about critical race theory.
What's critical race theory?
Oh, it's when you shut up because a person of color is speaking!
Or you might be called a racist. Next! This is what they sneak into your kids' education. Critical race theory, disguised as equity and equality. But all of that fall under the same umbrella. Sexual preference, racism, education, economic status, police brutality.
Something else going on in North Carolina is Davidson College there is now offering a hashtag abolish the police course.
And that's exactly why it's a college course. You mean to tell me that's not critical critical race theory?
Given today's climate, the title of the course itself is very concerning. What we have seen over the last couple of years with this anti-police rhetoric, conservatives and folks on my side of the aisle, and we have been screaming from the rafters that this is going to have dreadful effects for many communities around the nation, and that is proven true.
Because crime with the police is defunded went up 25,000%.
We see this huge spike in crime now ever since we've been browbeating and denigrating and defunding our police agencies across the country. And we see the dreadful effects now.
Because the #1 cause of death for black men 16 to 35 is homicide from other black men. But the school board rather give your kids fiction and not facts. They even write books about fiction that they call facts.
It's a book called Not My Idea, a book about whiteness. And in this book, white people are portrayed as the devil actually tempting children with so-called whiteness. And it's obviously racist. It's portraying everyone who has a certain color of skin as being the devil.
Who in the hell wrote this book? Louis Farrakhan?
Well, this book is not only taught to kindergartners, by the way, in the state of Illinois, it's taught to 4th and 5th graders in the state of Pennsylvania.
The racism is spreading.
And Mark, honestly, it doesn't matter what you want to call this. You can call it critical race theory because it's the outgrowth of critical race theory. You can call it racialism because it's a tool to implement Marxism, or you can call it abject racism, which is exactly what it is.
Which is the truth. The book is racist. Next!
You know, there are people who say a CRT, critical race theory, is not actually a real thing. It does not exist.
My homie just put the term out there, but I'm gonna tell you my take on race.
Well, then give it to us, my nigga.
You got wiggers, niggas, chiggers, iggers, miggers. All races is dumb.
That was smart.
Nigga, get it cracking. The white boy stole the whole motherfucking earth, nigga. And if you can't peep game on how, nigga, you can get yours, you a fucking nigger. Never ignorant getting goals accomplices, nigga, they get it cracking.
You know, we raised around the elements to where motherfuckers is dope dealers and all this. So if that's all we see when we grow up, then that's all we gonna know. If you look at the white people, they're born into money.
They get it cracking. They see the future. Nigga, this the future. Electricity. This motherfucker cost $2,300. Nigga, I bought 3 up for $1,200. That's called never ignorant getting goals accomplished.
You know, they have generational wealth to where when they're raised up, they already have money. They're raised into money, so they don't have to look. You know, all they think about is going to college and going, you know, and going. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to retort.
So if you see a white boy, ignorant motherfucker, that's a wigger. You see a Italian motherfucker that's dumb, that's an igger. Chinese, chigger. Japanese, jigger. Mexican, migger. And so on and so forth. And you know we got niggers, whole bunch of them motherfuckers, right?
Hopefully some watching this video.
So then you got the nigga. Never ignorant getting goals accomplished, right? And if you ain't a nigga, you ain't shit.
That's because you got 2 types of niggas. You got real niggas and you got just niggas. Next!
No, they're trying to say that all white people are racist and all black people are at a disadvantage because all white people got the advantage.
No, I don't believe that.
I disagree.
Niggas stay in the future and you'll always be ahead. If you niggas are still doing that old 1959, 69 shit, you're gonna lose.
Race rather than merit should be the main factor in hiring decisions.
Do you think white people are holding you back?
No, I do not believe that white people are holding me back.
Do you think the white man is holding you back from doing anything?
Huh? Watch this. Pop it. Who just held me back?
Saying he hold us down. I don't think we're at a disadvantage because of the white man being in control. I think we had a disadvantage because we were programmed that way not to want more than, you know, just the bare necessities and shit.
You any ignorant motherfucker talking about somebody is holding you back and you can do that. You're a nigger.
Don't be a nigger, be a nigga. Next!
Have you ever experienced racism in LA?
Yes, I have. All over the place. Shit right here, right where I'm at. These Orientals display racism all the time.
Have racism affected you in Los Angeles in any kind of way? Living in LA, have you ever suffered any kind of racism?
No, just about a faggot ass police, that's about it.
I got mistaken for a Mexican one time.
That's about it?
Yeah.
But no white folk. But not by the average like white person on the street or nothing like that.
Not by the skin tone, you know, they try to show us not by the color of our skin.
How is racism affecting you in Los Angeles today? Does racism affect you?
Yes, racism does affect me.
In which way?
Well, you know what?
Have you ever been directly, have a white person ever been directly racist to you or stop you from pursuing something, a job, you know, advancement, anything like that?
No, let me take that.
It's a hard question, huh?
It's a hard question because in the streets, in the free world, no, I have not experienced racism.
I'll speak for, you know what I'm saying, self, so I ain't never got mistreated.
But I did do 6 years in the feds. I've been in and out the county, and racism is real there. So my issue is with any white man that has power, period. I you know, they flex that shit for real.
Nah, you know what? A racial thing, bro. Some honest shit. You know what? I was actually out of prison, bro. And the funny shit was, I was going to get some food for me and my fellas. I had on white sweats, white t-shirt, white socks, and I had on some black flip-flops. I was riding a bike and I had like 6 plates of food on my bike, bro. They pulled me over at like about 7 o'clock in the evening, and he told me I fit the description, bro.
Because only Mexicans ride bikes with 7 plates of food on them.
Oh, the fit the description, that's the one.
I say, I fit the description of what, bro?
Yeah.
He said somebody that just came from a robbery. Oh, I went and robbed somebody with all white on. Went to the Chinese food place, put on some flip-flops. Yeah, they ordered 7 things of food. That's what I...
After the robbery?
Yeah, that's what I did. I said, you know what, bro? Do your job, bro. Do your job. And he said, what kind of food you got here? He was Asian. I said, your favorite.
That's wild bats and snake dicks.
So the only so that wasn't right. That's just a systematic racism. That wasn't no particular race messing with you.
No. It was actually there was an Asian man and a white boy. But you know what? The Asian man that was pressing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What the white boy?
Real, you know what I'm saying? But the white person, you know. But that was the only little piece of like, you know what I'm saying, racial like type of thing I had. You know.
So in LA, you either receive racism from the police or Asians, or both. Next!
He engineered hysteria over critical race theory has been ramping up for months now. And according to a new report, the misinformation pushed by one media outlet has been driving the panic.
And spreading the truth.
I'm going to give you a second so you can try to guess which one that is. A new study by Media Matters claims the Fox News channel's obsession with critical race theory has been a year in the making.
So critical race theory is like a movie and not a reality.
Okay, so this happened yesterday on old Fox News.
Well, I can see what happened on MSNBC News. You got rid of your Maxine Waters wig.
America was not founded on racism. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, there was slavery going on, but slavery itself was not initially a racist thing. It never was about race initially. So to sit there and take it like America was founded on racism is a complete lie.
He has a right to his opinion. What's wrong with that?
Okay, so here's the problem. History would like to have a word with either that guy or whoever brokered his soul.
And I would like to talk to the monkey who asked you stole for a face or whoever sold you that wig.
Hope he got a good check.
You better hope that monkey don't want his ass back that's on your face. Next!
2 things. You cannot overestimate the importance of victimization in terms of the right-wing culture, particularly white evangelical culture, the Fox News culture, the Republican culture.
Fox News and conservatives are calling themselves victims because people are calling them racist, Nazi, white supremacists. How that works?
Okay, see, the way that the MAGA right is currently in this country, going to war over history and anti-racism education when they fake call it critical race theory, it's basically a freak out over white Americans becoming more woke on matters of race.
So you are racist if you're not woke.
And last statement is racism is in every single interaction that we have as Americans.
I don't know if I can say yes or no to that.
I don't know if that's true necessarily.
Do you think it's present in every single interaction?
No, not every single interaction, no.
Do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that. I know it's very apparent and present in the United States. but it's not in every single interaction.
According to the Democrats, it is.
To do this, you have to use this racialism, use this racial divide as a tool to paint all white people as inherently racist.
You don't believe racism?
I believe in racism, but I don't believe that all white people are racist.
Do you believe that? Do you believe all white people are inherently racist?
White people don't believe it, and niggas don't believe it either.
I believe that black people are more racist than white people at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
What did he just say?
He said, white folks started slavery.
No, him. The angry one.
Who?
The other puppet who was saying violent things.
There was no puppet saying violent things.
Yes, there was no puppet saying violent things.
Idiot.
Okay.
So, I don't know if you're backing me into a corner with that question, but yes, I do. I do believe that all white people are, at some level, at the unconscious level, connected to racism.
That's something a puppet would say, but the truth is, niggas more racist than anybody.
Because, you know, we don't like ourselves, plus we blame everything on the white man.
Instead of taking the responsibility for ourselves. Critical race theory don't teach you black men done murdered more black men in 1 year than the entire history of slavery. Critical race theory seemed to leave that out, but I forgot. Critical race theory don't really exist, do it?
I say that it does exist. Unfortunately, it's kind of slippery. It's almost, you can't really put your hands on it.
Yeah.
But it can be defined, and it can be seen when you see it in the classroom.
And in politics.
You know, there are people who say a CRT, critical race theory, is not actually a real thing. It does not exist.
I know one thing that do exist. That's my boy Chris' donation. And Chris say critical race theory don't really exist. It's only a figment of the Democrats' imagination that they trying to convince people that it really exists, but it really don't exist. Ain't that a bitch?
But critical race theory asserts that the world in America is divided into a racial caste system, whites on the top, blacks on the bottom, but they have no idea what to do with Asian Americans.
Do you believe Asians are a minority?
Yeah, I believe they are. No, not over us. I think we're the biggest minority. I think they are a minority though.
Because Asian Americans are a minority. You know, they have been discriminated against in this country, and yet they succeed and they achieve.
I think they are, but you know, it's a lot of shit that don't affect them because they business owners. They own a lot of shit, so.
It has to do with culture. You know, Asian Americans study twice as many hours as the average American.
While black people is on social media 5 times more than any other race.
You make the argument that if America is systemically racist, as many proponents of critical race theory believe, how is it that Asian Americans have flourished and in many cases overtaken whites in terms of level of education and socioeconomic status?
That's a damn good question.
It's also strong 2-parent family structures. It's a strong value on education. It's a love for hard work and for meritocracy. And that's at stake with critical race theory, because critical race theory is anti-meritocratic. It believes that merit is racist.
And Black Lives Matter with the nuclear family shit is trying to keep the black man out the house and keep the black woman in the house. And keep the black kids indoctrinated. Next!
In short, the MAGA right wants to take us backwards to Homer Plessy's America, where discrimination and disparate treatment are just an inconvenience. And those demanding equality are the ones who've got the problem.
Well, bitch, I've been in the streets talking to the niggas who's supposed to have the problems, and they ain't got the problem.
You know about they're trying to include everybody, gays, black. They're trying to say that black people we've been enslaved for so long that it's fucking with us today. We can't move ahead of time.
No, I don't believe. I believe like from everybody got their own, you know what I'm saying, perspective of life. I feel like shit, you do what you do, as long as you don't get caught up in the rupture.
Niggas on the street sound like they conservative. Every man is responsible for himself.
Okay, what do you think about they're trying to make policies that include everybody? It's trying to say black people are being we've been discriminated against since slavery. We still haven't, and we still been influenced by, and we still been affected by slavery. You think we still been affected by slavery? Do you think slavery is still holding us back? Do you think slavery is holding you back?
Hell no. I mean, they've been signed that off. You feel me?
Like reparations, you think we should be getting reparations? You think slavery still affect black people today?
Yeah, it actually does.
You does?
Yeah, I really think it does.
So you think we deserve reparations?
Now, deserving of a reparations, that's different.
Okay, what do you think about slavery affecting black people today? You think it still affects black people today? Slavery?
I do. I mean, no, I don't think we know. We don't deserve that. Not us. We don't. We're not the ones that deserve that.
You think we deserve reparations?
I do.
You do?
I do.
I think we've been getting a lot, you know what I'm saying? I think we've been getting
we have been getting fair share and some.
Well, not every nigga on the street. Some niggas still sound liberal.
So you think black people need to be handed something like far as entitlements and stuff like that, as far as equity?
And actually, as of like the last 10 years, we've actually been doing great.
I do. I do believe. I think the Jews got theirs, the Indians get theirs, the Asians get theirs. I believe every culture, race gets help from the government for whatever how the government fucked them up, except us.
I wouldn't say it's whatever holding you back from moving forward. I wouldn't say white people holding me back. I'm not saying black people. No, if you holding you back, say it's you.
So ain't that only thing that's holding you back is you. That's it, period. Only thing that's holding you back is you.
Okay, don't just put it on somebody else, because as people are saying, life is changing and stuff like that. Either you change for good or you just stuck in the past.
So yes, we do. I think we do deserve our 40 acres and a mule.
Straight up, my nigga. It's about all you niggas got PPP and all that other shit, and you niggas can't get it cracking. You niggas are sorry if you can't get it cracking, period, point blank. That's my take on race relations. You niggas better go meet some other races, because, nigga, they got more resources than them sorry-ass niggas around the corner from you, nigga.
You know, they supposed to have passed a bill like 2 days ago, you know what I'm saying, about reparations.
I mean, it's about time. You know, it's about time. I mean, shit, they just gave us Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? So right now, being born and raised here, I am grateful of every little thing that they give us, but we definitely deserve more.
And that's the beautiful thing about America. Everyone should have a right to their opinion. Next!
You know, looking at Martin Luther King Jr., everything that he's done for this movement, he always said we shouldn't judge each other based on the color of one's skin. Do you think this is what he envisioned for America?
No, I mean, obviously you should be aware of race, but if you fixate on it so much to the point that you see nothing else in the other human being, then obviously that counters, you know, the type of activism he's trying to do.
And goes against judging somebody by the content of their character instead of the color of their skin.
No, definitely not. I think you want it a more like combined America, and not like focus on race is important, like history wise, but it should be more respectful and not separating people.
Well, that's exactly what Jim Crow 2.0 is doing.
It is all about victimization. If you turn on Tucker Carlson every night, he is the victim. Everywhere he turns, he is under attack.
What, for spreading the truth?
So all over the country, beginning early last June, school curricula have changed completely and become explicitly political and openly racist. And most parents have just sat there on their hands and watched it happen and watched their kids hurt by it.
What's so racist about that? In order for the Democrats to spin their racist narrative, they must have racist Democratic puppets to do their dirty work and call people racist. And the only way I can keep paying my hitman off is if I keep on getting donations from people like my boy James Touchett. My hitman is gonna hurry up and touch her.
And another key point about Black Lives Matters. Look, Fox News and the Republican Party did not like the rise of Black Lives Matters. They did not like the polling it was getting in 2018 and 2019, particularly among white voters who were sympathetic to it.
And what about the black people who didn't give a fuck about Black Lives Matter? Do they count? Next!
Basically, you know, it's a bunch of legal scholarship and academic thinky talk that just tries to figure out what systems are in place that over minorities in the U.S. in subtle ways.
So all the parents are mad for nothing.
You know, knowing all of these things, knowing that these statements come from critical race theory, what if I were to tell you that all three of these statements are being taught to college kids, to kids in K through 12 in this country? Would you be surprised at this being taught?
If she was a liberal, she wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that it's being taught, and I don't think that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a little surprising because I feel like there's been a lot of reform in that realm, but yet the education systems aren't picking up on that.
Do you think this is something we should be teaching our kids?
No, not necessarily.
No, I don't believe that should be taught. Just it's not really a good way to think about things.
But one group of parents in Loudoun County, Virginia, right outside Washington, is fighting back against all of this, against a curriculum that teaches their kids to hate their country and to judge their classmates based on how they look, on their skin color.
No one is teaching this stuff to your young kids, so calm the down.
Despite the board's attempt to deny it, District 196 schools are quickly becoming a place where promoting activism is actually more important than promoting education.
Well, I kind of believe the kid. Next! Let's get back to the puppets.
Also, your response to this idea that the anti-critical race theory campaign is basically a anti-Black Lives Matter campaign.
So Fox News hate blacks.
I want to get your response to that.
You know, I think it is, because part of what people were seeing with Black Lives Matter, in particular, how white opinion has shifted, is it has done the most work, right, in moving white opinion on these issues than any other moment in time. And I think that was a scary proposition.
Excuse me, have you ever heard of Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, or Michael Jackson, bitch?
But I also think it comes along with this sort of replacement theory that this drumbeat that you see on Fox News, right, that we will not be replaced, that these people are coming and they're going to try to remake the world in a non-white fashion.
That's exactly what the Democrats are doing, but they're doing it with reverse racism.
I'll take you back to my first day at RHS this fall. The principal came out and gave us a heartfelt speech about equality and standing together. He began to list countless races, such as Latino, Asian, expressing how much they matter and how important they are. But never once did he mention a race or identity that reflects me, or half the kids that were in the class.
Which most likely was a majority of white kids. The white kids the critical race theory is aimed at.
It's protection of white children. And I think it's also interesting that the only people that can have white children in this country are white women. So it's bringing in this sort of notion of the white family.
Wow. What school did you go to come up with the ideology that only white women can have white babies? Are you saying black women can't have black babies? Now that is racist.
But you must admit how uncomfortable it will be to be characterized just by your skin color on the first day of school and be thought that you were wrong just because of your skin color.
It's also racist that black women can't have white kids.
And protecting this, this cisgendered heteronormative idea of what an American family looks like. And that family is always white.
And never black, especially after the shit y'all done to Cliff Huxtable.
We had the return of a middle-aged elderly white man in the White House, and for Fox News, that's bad. That's just bad for business.
Joe Biden is a middle-aged white man. Well, it was bad for saying some stupid shit like that. Joe Biden is 3 years younger than Moses. Next!
To be clear, I don't need you to tell me that I matter, but hearing the condolences given to other races and leaving just one race out, inevitably you'll start to feel like you've done something wrong.
That wasn't even your fault, but they say Fox News is wrong for you bringing it up.
So what do they want? They want cultural wars. They want race baiting. Yes, they want race wars. So Fox News and the entire Republican Party has grabbed onto critical race theory.
Republicans want a race war, but it's people on the left that's burning down other people's businesses because they want equality, beating up Asians, and saying all lives don't matter. Next!
And in our principal's attempt to unify us, he instead created unwarranted boundaries and barriers between his students, pitting us against each other based on characteristics that we can't control.
Is your principal Joe Biden?
They have turned this into a hysteria that is really beyond comprehension.
In order to make Fox look like they're racist and they're lying, you must first try to make them look like they're foolish and desperate.
In another separate instance, I was told that writing "All Lives Matter" on the whiteboard was political and could be seen as offensive. When I questioned the teacher after class, she told me that she didn't have an answer and she just had to erase it, and it was quickly erased.
Don't ask, just listen.
This is the phony outrage. The right wing does it to perfection. They get the help from the mainstream media. And so here we are, Fox News mentioning this topic almost 250 times in a week.
And the kids are also lying.
There are political signs all over RHS, about specific races that matter, specific sexual orientations that matter, and specific perspectives that matter. But when I questioned the RHS administration about how these signs were political, they told me that they were supporting human rights. So when I questioned why the equity statement couldn't represent all students, they told me that to even ask that question was outlandish and offensive.
And if you don't agree with it, you know what you're going to be labeled.
And when I asked why that was, they told me, quote, whites have a pretty good situation right now, unquote.
So your life don't matter, and Fox News is wrong for saying it do.
But they need content, they need to fill the hours, so they're happy to do it.
The hours, have you saw CNN or MSNBC catalog lately? I looked at CNN, everything Donald Trump. Donald Trump, John Bolton talking about him. Donald Trump, final days in office. Some other shit about heaviest man. Bernstein and Donald Trump. New book deal and Donald Trump. Donald Trump mixtape. Mike Pence and Donald Trump. Then I went to MSNBC. Barr and Donald Trump. Arizona, you know that's about Donald Trump. Case whatever get by, that's probably about Donald Trump too. Former Trump official, Trump Legal Tribune, some other shit about Delta. Then you got they talked about child tax credit. Then they got a Trump mixtape too. Then you got Trump this and Trump that, and then you don't turn to Fox. You got you got Gutfeld, you got the Poll Show, you got this bitch Jen Pelosi, whatever this bitch name is, so you have different type of news. You got Kamala Harris, all this is current events. Shit is happening right now. Tucker Carlson, you got motherfucking Judge Jenny, you got a mixture of Biden nominees, you got a mixture of news. So if you watching CNN, you is getting this Trump syndrome. You got LA County wearing mask mandates, you got a mix of every kind of shit. You got somebody else talking about Biden, but you got a mixture of fucking news. And have you saw the racist PTA director?
Denied this off-key band of people that are anti-education, anti-teacher, anti-equity, anti-history, anti-racial reckoning, anti-opportunities, anti-help people, anti-diversity, anti-platform, anti-science, anti-change agent, anti-social justice, anti-healthcare, anti-worker, anti-LGBTQ+, anti-children, anti-healthcare, anti-worker, anti-environment, anti-emissions policy change, anti-inclusion, anti-live and let live people. Let them die. Don't let these uncomfortable people.
It seemed like the only ones that's desperate to get views and a message across is the liberals. Next! Junior C. Wright. Did you hear that shit?
So is that not racism? Disregarding my question merely because of the color of my skin. To be honest, after enduring a year of the people in charge telling me that I'm a racist and I'm privileged and pointing out our irreversible differences, I've never noticed race more. And it's becoming the first thing I notice when I meet someone, which has never before been the case.
So bringing up race make racism possible.
Well, look, race baiting is always good politics, and Republicans have known this for a really long time.
Because they've been defending themselves against racism for a very long time. If you keep on defending yourself as something, you'll be good at it. They got professional defensive players too. Next!
RHS administration confidently told me that RHS students and staff are happy with their equity statement. But from my experience in talking with other students, this is not the case. I know many kids who disagree with their teachers, but they're too scared to stand up because they're worried that their grades will be docked and their learning experience will be affected.
If you don't learn what we want you to learn, your ass ain't gonna graduate.
And then using these people who are giving testimonials about how critical race theory harms American children, and what they mean is harms white children in particular, right? And the way that critical race theory is tearing this country apart, as if we don't have, a 400+ year legacy, right, of harming all kinds of people.
You want to talk about what hurt white kids and not talk about what hurt black kids, like bullets.
My honors government teacher, I'm not going to say his name, but he's mentioned that Democrats care more about all people while Republicans only care about themselves. And he's also inferred to us that socialism is better than democracy. He even had a statue. He had a statue of a socialist leader in his classroom.
and not an American president.
And what they're really saying is we only want a history that treats, the founders as heroic, not as the slave owning, Native American removing, complicated people that they were.
Well, bitch, that's American history.
I've been told by a lot of kids that they just stay silent and adjust their schoolwork to reflect an acceptable opinion to secure a good grade.
You're going to learn it if you like it or not.
Unfortunately, there are teachers in the classroom who are forcing their opinion on students, and we cannot allow that to happen. It's also happening, of course, to teachers as well.
Because critical race theory is an opinion, not a fact.
I've been approached by multiple teachers who have told me in private that they just want to say that they agree with me and they support me standing up, but they can't say it in front of the class for fear of being disciplined by the administration in some way or losing their jobs.
And doxxed as a racist.
There is clearly only one way to think in this district, and that is that they are teaching their kids to shut up if they don't agree.
Anyway, so we protest in the big city to show our solidarity with the Unions that set us free from the stages of slavery.
Now, members of the board, I want you to take a good look at yourselves in the mirror tonight and ask, are you really standing up for the equality of all people, or are you just pushing a damaging political ideology on our students?
And if you don't agree, you won't graduate, because critical race theory don't really exist, I think.
A fellow coworker at my job, who by the way is of color, discreetly told me that the schools seem to be pushing a very leftist agenda in class.
That can't help them with shit in the future.
This proved that not everyone is happy with your school, and not everyone who isn't happy is white.
And not all the parents that are mad are white either.
Now, due to all these instances I've mentioned and many more that I can't fit in this 5-minute speech, I have decided to leave this district and continue school on a private Christian school online.
Good for you. The hell with that school.
And there will be sacrifices, and I will not get to walk in the graduation ceremony or attend milestones at RHS, but I will be able to learn in an environment that is not intent on punishing me daily for my skin color and political views.
Because if the teacher label you a racist, what in the hell you think the student's gonna call you?
Now, regardless of how you take my speech, whether you just shrug it off as malarkey or Fox News talking points,
which the liberals call racist talking points,
I encourage you to think about it, because someday I'm going to be a leader. I may be the president, a governor, or just a professional golfer, but I will never stop believing that everybody has value, no matter their skin color or personal beliefs, and it's a shame that you're not going to be able to say that I was an alumni of RHS in District 196.
It's a shame that I don't have more people like Chris to donate to my channel. Chris loved me so much, Chris donated 2 times. Everybody give Chris the 2 thumbs up.
Would you stop interrupting?
Well, excuse the fuck out of me.